Baker, Oregon. And this is the museum that they tell me has a covered wagon display of the Oregon Trail and all of that neat stuff. It looks like a first-class building to me from the outside, just pulled in from Sumter. And across the street is a beautiful city park.
This building was originally the City Natatorium. They called it the Old Nat. It was built in 1921, and one of the rooms you'll see in here was an Olympic-sized swimming pool with high dives. Upstairs in the second story, you'll see the original wood-floored ballroom. That was used for community dances, band concerts, and later as a roller skating rink.
That's interesting. Now, this is the covered wagon display and all, or is this?
No, this is the Baker Heritage Museum.
Okay.
The covered wagon displays are at the Oregon Trail Interpretive Center.
Okay, and that's 5 miles out of Baker?
Yes, it is.
Okay.
Yeah, this museum has mostly artifacts from the period that Baker County was founded.
Okay.
And first settled, which was actually after the Oregon Trail, after they discovered gold here. People started coming back to settle here.
Okay.
So we have stagecoaches, great rock mineral collection, and just lots of things that belonged to the people and the businesses that were first here.
Okay. Thank you. And your name is?
My name is Ashley.
Typical woman's side saddle. Looks like a torture chamber to me. Milk cans, cream cans, and a separator. An abundance of pictures. If a person is really into historical documents, they certainly hear. Beautiful display of various barbed wires through the history. This is a airport beacon light setup. Hand-operated fire pump. Interesting. Various pieces of mining equipment, many picture displays of miners. Small ore car. Winch and bucket for hauling up material out of a mine shaft. Paint Your Wagon, of course, was filmed here in Baker. It's a roadshow type musical motion picture. I think it was made in a Cinerama 70mm. This is very unique. I've been through many museums and I've not seen a better piece of history than this one as far as scroll saws are concerned. This is a beautiful model. Very dusty now, but I imagine it's too delicate to try and dust it off with a feather duster. More typical tools of the day and logging equipment. Early chainsaw, drag saw type of bucking tool. Timber tongs, cork boots, little bow saw for making firewood. Blacksmith Shop. Old hand crank drill press. Emery wheel, hand crank or foot pedal. Here we have a replica of the newspaper of the day. Printing press. Typesetters drawers, with linotype. Here we get a little more modern. Very poor lighting in here for photography. So some of these things are going to be a little dark. Vast majority of the museum is well lit, but this newspaper office is rather dark. Of course, a wall-mounted ringer-type telephone. No newspaper would be complete without a telephone for news items. Down here is a battery box that the early phones used. Here's a rather unique item, an early automobile floor jack. And as we leave, we'll look at the gasoline pump. This handle on the bottom, you pumped so many gallons, 2, 3, 5, 10 gallons of petrol, whatever you wanted to buy, you pumped it up into this glass, an underground tank, and when you had 5 gallons or 6 or 7, why, you stopped pumping and started filling your tank. Worked on the same principle as a picture pump that you used to pump water out of your well. These are built-in wall displays with no glass between, just shadow box type things. Another shadow box display. Quite well done. In fact, it's very well done. Beautiful ring-necked pheasants. Great deal of Indian artifacts. Nice display of arrowheads. A section devoted to musical instruments of the day, and a rogues gallery picture gallery of various orchestras and bands. Of course, any museum would not be complete without a violin. Here's an early teacher's desk with the apple. Nice little replica. Apparently the teacher taught music also. This apparently is a blood pressure machine or some kind of a device. Certainly an old examining table. Looks like it's before the days of stirrups. Medicine cabinet. This, of course, is a pharmacy. Again, these are the little side window displays, only there's no glass. It's just a little room. Very well done. My son had a whole iron collection. He had 3 of these Coleman gas-fired irons. I believe these are for drying gloves. The old copper wash tub. General store. Oh, about 1852 or 1872 apparently. It's nice when museums use mannequins to display the times. Again, a wall-mounted telephone, crank telephone. Typical tobacco counter, cigars, pipe tobacco. Apples fresh from the orchard. In the 40s and 50s, we still were buying many things in gunny sacks, and they were commonplace items like plastic bags are today. Kerosene dispenser. One more shot of the main floor from the second floor balcony. Like many museums, they have display of firearms from the days of the settlement of the community. There's a couple of trapdoor Springfields from the 1860s. Display of various pistols, or I should say revolvers and single shot guns. Another railroad waiting bench. Could be a church pew, but I believe it's a railroad bench. Early beauty shop, hair salon, curlers, barber chair, collection of straight razors, and the barber's tools. This organ is right square in front of the window, and I'm not using my backlighting, so it may be a little dark. Victor. My son Matthew in his collection had 2 of these. He kind of bought them and traded them, and he had several tabletops and the full Victor fireplace in the back. Very, very ornate organ, beautiful organ. Hey, I even get a picture of myself taking the picture. Here we have a picture of a banjo. Lady of the house at her grand piano, or by her grand piano. Here we have about a 1920-22 radio with a speaker on top. My son in his collection had an identical speaker and radio. Those are now in the Harrisburg Pioneer Museum, Harrisburg, Oregon. This is an Edison home phonograph. The music and voice was transcribed onto discs, or onto drums, and then the drums were played back on the machine and the sound came out the horn. Bathroom, when it was truly a bathroom. This is the bathtub, the stove to kind of keep you warm and heat your water. Of course, the dining room, table set with china. A replica of an early kitchen, and we're looking at butter churns. Typical early kitchen again, different year and time. Here's a drum type butter churn that I cranked on many times during the early 40s. You get two things, you get buttermilk and butter. Beautiful floors in this old ballroom. Children's room. Some of the early toys. Wonderful little hobby horse. Oriental display along with that hobby horse. It's more of a Chinese room, I guess. There were many Chinese used in the building of the railroads in the West, and I don't have any idea how much Chinese influence was here in Baker City, but I'm sure there was some. Another one of the railroad benches. Push floor 1 to get back to the main floor. Stainless steel in here, and it really reflects. Don't know if I'm getting anything or not. This again is on the main floor, just to the right-hand side of the entrance. Very distinctive display of silverware, spoons and forks. Display of high button shoes, lady's handbag, early telephones.